Kimbo Slice's son, Kevin Ferguson Jr., took to the octagon to make his professional debut, which unfortunately for him ended in a loss in a second round submission where he left himself susceptible to a guillotine and therefore had to pay the price for that. But, Jason, he looked pretty good up to this point. I know you watched his fight and focused in on kind of the similarities that he had perhaps to his father. He's got a very similar physique to him. He clearly looks the part, but were you impressed with his performance? What did you take away from it?
Here's the thing. When Bellator 165 actually got a pretty big draw, and I think the numbers on TV were pretty good too, because you're bringing in one of the best storylines you can have. I mean, the passing of Kimbo Slice was tragic, because even though this guy was a backyard brawler and like the origins of YouTube and, you know, watching these crazy fights going on, he was a great person. Everybody that said that they passed by him and talked to him in person always said he was a good guy. And believe it or not, Kimbo Slice did not want his son fighting. In an interview recently, Kevin Ferguson Jr., Kimbo Slice Jr., Baby Slice, said that, you know, his dad never wanted the fight. Well, what we saw out of Kimbo Slice Jr., this Baby Slice, which I will still keep calling because I love that name, in the 165-pound catch weight contest that happened, was we have a better fighter than Kimbo Slice ever was. He scored 3 takedowns, secured 3 takedowns in the first round of that, and included a big left hand. In his only other amateur fight in history, this was a fight where he knocked out in the second one. He did land what MMA fighting was calling an illegal knee, and they didn't really call it, they didn't really catch it, but it didn't look like it was a one that he was attempting to do. And he almost got him submitted in the second round, but he left himself susceptible for that guillotine choke, and Aaron Hamilton just took way too much advantage of it in the round, and the fight was over just like that. But up until that point, round 1 easily towards Baby Slice, and round 2 up to that point was going towards Baby Slice. So it looked like he was going to come away with a victory, and obviously should get way more opportunities in Bellator.
So I guess to clarify, do you mean that technical, like in the technical side of it, he's more of a technical fighter than his father was?
Yes.
Because you know with Kimbo Slice, if you're coming onto this platform commenting and saying Kimbo Slice was a phenomenal, technically gifted fighter, he was brute force. He was exactly what he had done for several years on YouTube, which we were all drawn and loved to see. I think you can attest a large popular growth of YouTube to Kimbo Slice and what he did through those years. He carried that right over into the octagon. He used to overpower his opponents. He would land devastating blows, body shots, and just go toe-to-toe with people that could never really withstand his brute force and power. So I think I agree with you there that his son looked as if he had more of the technical aspect of the octagon mastered. He understood how to work space. He was able to maneuver his body well. But it comes with experience as well. I think Kimbo Slice, while he had that brute force, he's obviously was way experienced when he got into the latter points of his career, where he would be able to understand that you can never really leave yourself susceptible. No matter how much power you have and how dominant you can be, you need to always be prepared that the opponent will use any means possible to try and get an advantage. And seeing a young fighter who's making his debut, you got to give testament to the veteran that was in the octagon with him, who understood that despite this young talent coming in who has the ability to land some devastating blows, if you see the opportunity for a submission, that's something that he's going to take advantage of, and you got to give him credit for that. But does he need to work on that defensive side of his game in order to make sure that he's able to move forward?
Of course. So it's the big thing with that is that you look forward. It's like there's no such thing as a good loss, but if you were to, you know, leave one, this is something that he's now 0-2 in his professional career. This is not someone who's had like any kind of amount of professional bouts under his belt. But from what he showed, he came in with a very good game plan, a very standard ground and pound game plan, and he really stuck it out. Yeah. So he got to learn from his mistakes, and it's something that I think he'll do. So it looks like he's been trained better than Kimbo Slice ever was, and it seems like for the Bellator, they might have, you know, a cash cow at their hand to the similar style that certain UFC fighters will just bring in a giant fan base. Those who liked watching Kimbo Slice are going to like watching Baby Slice because the name carries so much weight.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Did you watch this fight? What do you think of Kimbo Slice's son? Jason's calling him Baby Slice in the octagon. Do you continue on with that name? What do you think? Jason Rubin 91, Francis_Maxwell, and as always, subscribe for plenty more content right here on TYT Sport.